What's up, everybody? Welcome to The Fight of Faith, the world's first and only Christian MMA podcast. We're a community of believers where we can get in the Word together with Bible read-alongs. And also, if you need some prayer, go ahead and hit us up on our prayer line. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, we're available for you at 424-70-FIGHT. You can call or text anytime. Now, please prayerfully consider joining us on our Patreon page for as low as $1 a month, and you'll become a member of our Fight Fam. And for all you guys that are interested in starting your own podcast and you want to use Spreaker, use my promo code FIGHTOFFAITH for 15% off your first year subscription. What's up, everybody? This is Justin with The Fight of Faith, and we're going to do a phone call with boxing coach Dewey Cooper, and it's such a high honor to have him on the podcast. Let's give him a call, and let's see what he has to say.
Hello?
Hey, Coach. How you doing, man?
I'm great. How are you?
Oh, I'm great. Sorry about playing all the phone tag back and forth and everything.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, I appreciate you taking the time, man. Yeah, Greg Forte is our mutual friend. I've met him a little while ago. We've hung out a few times, and how'd y'all end up meeting? How do you know Greg?
I know Greg through one of his relatives, a guy named Robert Navone. He's a coach. Coach Robert Navone is one of my best friends. We go back many years, and him and Greg were all relatives and very close. So Robert introduced me to Greg. So I've also been friends with Greg for many, many years at this point. Robert Navone now lives in Boca Raton. He's a coach out there. He does conditioning and MMA fight training, and he has a gym called Next Level MMA. So, yeah, he's a good guy, and a very close friend of mine to this day.
Wow. Okay. And but for you, as far as training fighters and everything, you're not really restricted to any building or any place. You go wherever you got to go, huh?
Well, I have a gym. That's One Kick's gym. I fought out of that gym for 26 years, and I train my guys there mainly, but I'm also one of the TMT Money Team boxing coaches. So, right. Those are two gyms where I'm stationed at. However, if my guy has sparring at Couture's, or we have special training at the USDPI or wherever, right, I'm going to go where my fighters go because I'm a fight coach. That's what I do. So I try to make it as comfortable and easy with my fighters as possible. So of course, if we have good work and it makes sense to be somewhere else, I'm definitely there.
Right. Because I'm not a fighter. I'm just a fan, and I'm just I'm a fan of the sport. But as of late, I started going to Couture's, and I think I saw you walk in. You have some guys that do some work in there, and Francis and all that.
Yes.
Yeah, but
I'm at Couture's often. Eric is a very good friend of mine. Ray Seffer, when I go back from the 90s, we both were fighting K1, and Ray Seffer helped me out a lot early in my career. And I also trained Ray for a few fights, and Ray's last mixed martial arts fight with the World Series of Fighting, I trained him. So, Ray and I are very close. He sparred me so many times for some big fights to help prepare me, and I've helped him. So we're like brothers. Ray's like a big brother to me, and, so I have an open invitation to go to Couture's and train guys or be a member there anytime. So Couture's like my third home.
Right,
I love the guys over there. And I'm there twice a week, 3 times a week often anyway.
Right. Okay. I'm
just not on the paper or on the books for being a coach there. Right. But I do coach guys. I do train guys there. But I'm on the books at One Kick's gym and the Mayweather gym as a coach.
Right. And now, so to put things in perspective, what if somebody came up to you and said, "Hey, Coach, I would love an hour of your time, man. How much I got to pay you?"
I get that often. often. I actually trained a new guy today, a guy named Daniel. I get that often. It goes by my availability and the level of fighter that person is. If he's just an enthusiast and not a fighter, there's a different rate than if a guy's fighting, if he needs help with his striking. So it goes by the individual situation. But I'm a martial artist. The creed of a real martial artist is to pass on your martial arts knowledge. So I always try my best to help anybody who asks me for the help if I have time. And, you know, I have a daughter that I have to take care of. She goes to Gorman High School freshman. I got a lot of bills. So I do charge guys, but I definitely don't try to rob them and rape them for their money. I'm probably the most reasonable guy at my level in the country, actually. So, you know, I'll do a deal for a guy. It just goes by the situation.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Just wondering because, you know, you're a living legend, man. I'm just very appreciative of you taking the time and to kind of put things in perspective because, like, for me, for this podcast, I started it because myself, I'm a Christian, and I didn't really see any Christian MMA podcasts out there. You know, I think the closest thing back in the day was Jesus Didn't Tap, you know, like that kind of brand. That's back in the day a little bit though. But as far as with everything with martial arts and everything, would you consider yourself like a spiritual person, or do you pray, or do you what's that approach to you with fighting and your fighters?
Well, I'm definitely a spiritual person. I'm a Buddhist.
Okay.
You know, I study Buddhism, and a lot of people have a misconception about Buddhism. Buddhism isn't a religion; it's just a way of life. You believe in the laws of karma. You believe in giving out positive energy, etc. So you know, I believe in spirituality. I don't really get into the specifics about people, names, and places. I just believe in energy, and that there is a creation, and we're part of that creation, and we're all a part of this huge equation of the universe. And let's harness that energy to create and accomplish whatever we want to. So I just basically I have a philosophy with all my fighters, and I tell them one thing, and this is the black. By the way, the name of my training is Black Cobra Striking Systems.
Right.
Everyone thinks the black is the nationality I am. No, the black represents black belt. I'm a 4th degree black belt. So my fight name is Cobra. I'm the Black Cobra because I reached that level of mastery, which is the black belt. I went through the white Cobra and the yellow Cobra and the purple and the pink and the orange and the green. You know, all those colors. So that's why it's the Black Cobra. It has nothing to do with my African American heritage.
Right.
So my training system is called the Black Cobra Striking Systems, and my first creed is a saying, and that saying is, if improvement is possible, perfection is not good enough. So just like in the realm of the church, when you're praying, you know, to your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, you can never obtain that ultimate prayer. You're praying every day, and you're believing, and you're trying to make Him proud, and you're doing good things to make this world a better place, so you can be rewarded with that heavenly gift at your death. It's that same philosophy. You know, a true Christian's not gonna be good 6 days a week and be evil on the 7th day. They're gonna practice a certain way of life to get that reward of heaven and all the good things that goes with that. Same with my philosophy of training. No matter how good you are, you could be undefeated. You could be like the baddest dude in the world. It's still not good enough. We still have to work. You can be perfect, and we all know no one is perfect. Right. But even if you attain that perfection, it's still not good enough because there's always room for improvement. Man. I choose that philosophy because I want my guys to work hard and stay mentally engaged, keep that passion, and really work to become the greatest to ever do it. And that's the only way possible we could ever obtain such high acclaim if we keep that philosophy. It may not never happen, but if it does, the only way we're going to become the best ever and the greatest ever is to have that mentality of, perfection isn't good enough because we must improve. So one more time, that saying is, if improvement is possible, perfection is not good enough.
Man, that is super powerful. Like, for real. Like, because for me, like, I know where, it's very important for people to be self-aware, right? Like, to not live in a fairy tale land and be real and honest with yourself. And for me personally, I know as far as martial arts, I'm just a fan and an enthusiast. And if I honestly can't say that I would be able to push myself to that limit, because if I wanted to be a fighter, I would have to believe I'm the absolute best and strive for that. And I know that anyone is fighting not willing to put in the work to become the best, I don't think they should be fighting.
Yes, and unfortunately, there are a lot of people that do, because sometimes being the best isn't the person's goal. They may want to just be popular, a local hero. They may just want to get girls, flavor of the month type of dude, or they may just want to make money. And those things don't necessarily make you a champion or make you the best or make you to even strive to be the best. So there, it's a lot of layers to it. There's a lot of variables, but yeah, some guys who fight never even want to fight for the championship. They just want to be in the UFC or Bellator and not necessarily be a champion, but it sounds cool to look around and say, hey, I'm a UFC fighter, or I'm a glory fighter, or whatever.
Right.
So you'll be surprised. But the real ones, of course, that's the goal. That's the focus, and that's what you put all that passion, enthusiasm, and hard work in for.
You know what, man? And I love this passion that you're sharing with us, because I feel this kind of approach is kind of probably getting lost in like the semantics of all. Like, I think the sports has changed a little bit, and it's still, I love the sport, obviously, but I mean, like, I'm sure out of all people, I think you can see from like the transformation. I think there's more pride, more arrogance, and this more of a show. Like, I think the martial arts aspect of respect and discipline and humility is kind of fading away. Do you think?
Well, it's not fading away, because you got guys like Kamaru Usman that's respectful.
Oh yeah,
and exercise their humility. There's so many other guys that do. George St. Pierre always did, just to name a few. I mean, there's several guys. Even my fighter, Francis Ngannou, he's actually a cool, humble guy. He don't trash talk and do all the disrespectful stuff.
Guy. Right.
Unfortunately, the landscape of the business side and the fighting side has merged so heavily together in order sometimes to make that business side really numerically tantalizing. You gotta put some of that showmanship in it.
Right.
And that's where it's going. See, people everyone wants to make money. And it's a profession, so of course you should, but how far are you willing to go? Are you willing to do what Conor did to Habib in their fight and go overboard with the trash talk and bring the family in it and bring the religion in it and make it personal, to where it's a true grudge match, to where a guy really wants to kill you and not just be the victor of your fight? Do you really want to take it that far to when a guy sees you months and months later? Do you really want to take it that far?
Right.
I mean, so I think people really need to know the balance. Be like Ric Flair, the guy that gets everyone intrigued and love him and get the huge fan base. But remember that there's a thin line to showmanship versus utter disrespect and utter real life situations outside of the cage or the ring. And unfortunately, to answer your question, the fans love that beyond the realm of showmanship tactic, which causes some guys to go beyond and above the level of showmanship and get it and make it too real, too personal, and then you have to deal with the consequences. And man, don't be surprised one day if some guy kills someone outside the ring because of this type of thing, and then everyone in the world is going to be shocked, like, oh my God, it was just a fight. But people are making it deeper than a fight, and we're going to see the overboarding point at some point.
Right. It's going to come across someone real, and they ain't going to have it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and that's the problem. Remember, I'm not some old head who don't believe in making money and being popular. But at the end of the day, get your money, get your popularity, but more importantly, put the work in, become a winner, and become someone that your kids and that the young people can look at and say, yo, man, I respect that guy. He's a badass, but he's still righteous versus a badass and super negative and steering the youth in the wrong direction.
Wow. Definitely, man. I'm all about that. Like, especially with, and another reason that this whole thing intrigues me with the spirituality standpoint is like when I did win my kickboxing tournament back in the day, it was probably one of the most it was so bizarre because it was so physically draining, like, you know, like stress or anxiety, whatever, but also spiritually, like I felt like a whole different person because I had overcome something I never overcome before. And I felt like a personal breakthrough in my life. And ever since then, I never looked at life the same, especially training for that. We were sparring and I came in for a punch, but I caught a front kick right to the gut and all. I got the wind knocked out of me. But you know, I even though that hurt so bad, and my trainer at the time, he's like, man, just take this round out. You're good. Just, you know, but I didn't. I'm like, you know what? Nah, it's okay. I'll keep going. And, after sparring was over, he told me, you know what? Like, I don't know why, but it seemed like a very deep moment for you that you kept going, even though you got knocked down. Like you got the wind knocked out of you. And, so he gave me like a pep talk. And that actually kind of reflected what I was going through in my life at that time. I got knocked down really bad in that season of my life, but for some reason, man, like I started like tearing up thinking about it, like how in the same way I got up in the cage is man, I got to get up out of this situation and just, you know, brush myself off and get myself up and get out of there. And like I've always viewed it like that now. Have you ever came across situations like that in your life, like a huge obstacle or a fight in your life that you had to overcome and you had a moment like that?
I think everyone has.
Yeah. Fighting
sports and life are both microcosms of one another. Except life is the ongoing fight. And in real life, it's not as shown or as known. In other words, when you and I sign for a fight, we may have 6 weeks, we may have 3 weeks, we may have 3 months to prepare for one another. You're studying my videos, you're looking at my habits, I'm doing the same to you. Mm-hmm. So it's fair, the writing's on the wall, who's going to conquer the moment. Life is the same exact way, except it's unknown. We don't know who our opponents are going to be. We don't know who our trainers are going to be, who our adversaries are going to be, our enemies are going to be. It could be your boss at work, who loves you this month, wants to fire your ass next month. It could be your friends jealous of you, you know, saying bad things behind your back and causes trouble in life. It could be someone you don't know helping you get along. Some person you don't even know who gives you the recommendation to get that job, you know, at the workplace when you sign that application. There's so many variables, it's so unknown, but it's definitely a fight. And when bad things happen, when you lose that girlfriend, when you lose that job, when you wreck your car because, you know, you didn't see that stop sign, we got to be able to bounce back, be accountable, accept accept whatever happened, and we must rise above it and improve from those things. Just like in the fight, you hear the cliche statement, there's no losses, just lessons. And it's very true, even though it's a cliche statement. A loss is not a loss unless you feel like a loser. In other words, if you felt you didn't put your best foot forward, if you felt you could have did more to make that loss into a victory, then you lost. If you did your best, fought your heart out, gave everything you could, and you catch an L, it's a lesson because you can learn valuable lessons from that, and you can become better from those things. And the same in life. We have so many obstacles. We have so many adverse things that happen. And I'm going to tell you right now, without a championship mentality, you're not going to be the victor at the end. You're going to be the drug addict, the alcoholic, the abusive father, the rapist, the criminal, the pickpocket, the liar, the thief, the disrespectful, just bad, evil human being. And that's why the world is so split from good and evil, because people don't have that championship mentality. Championship mentality makes you rise above any difficulty and say, I'm going to be better from this. If more people had that, this world would be a more honest, more integrity-filled, more empathetic place.
Man, you're the real one, bro. You're the real one. Like, people need to hear this kind of stuff because this is not only motivational, inspirational, but it's truth, man. It's absolute truth. Like,
thank you, brother. And this is just not like some fake words that I'm pulling out watching Stephen A. on First Take or something. This is really how I feel. You know what I mean? This is really how I feel. I'm a real dude, and I try to live my life honestly and clean as I possibly can. And anyone who knows me, you can talk to any fighter or talk to any trainer I ever had, Master One Kick Nick, Tony Valente, Master TJ Blackburn, or Jeff Mayweather. They'll tell you I was like this from a kid. You know, I've always been focused. I've always been goal-oriented, and I've always worked hard.
Man, thank you for everything you do for the sport. Thank you for everything you do for your athletes, man. It's like, you know, like it's something that people take for granted now, man. Like wisdom. Some people need some humility, bro. Like, with people like talking like this, people that I've seen, for some reason, man, they think they got it all figured out, and they don't want to take the time to just shut up and listen. It's just because that's why I'm all ears for you, bro. You know, like I'm here to learn and better myself, you know, and I'm already feel like I'm becoming a better person just learning from you and observing from you, listening, you know, to the experience and the years that you have put in, you know, like, why not? You know, have you ever had like a fighter that you're training that never really even listen to you? They just rather just train.
Yeah, so many, man, so many, and I've tried. I've had so many. Fortunately, you know, you believe in the Lord. I believe in the universe. It's the same energy. When you're a good person, and you're being honest, doing the best you can do, the Lord, the universe figures out a way to pull people away from you that aren't supposed to be there. And I look at all things like that, not just my fighters. So all those guys that you just questioned me about, they're no longer around. Somehow they left. They got new trainers. I finally said, you know what, bro? This can't work, or they had to move, or they got injured, or they lost their contract with the promotion they're assigned to. The universe always figured out a way to split us up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, somehow they get filtered out.
Yeah, and in my mind and my heart, I just smiled and said good, because I didn't have to really be the one to do it. You know what I mean? Things organically happen. And I think if we pay attention in life, we're all like that, as long as we're doing the right things. Because when we're doing the wrong things, we're attracting ourselves to the wrong people and the wrong energies. Therefore, the wrong things are going to keep happening. For instance, a drug dealer, a pimp, you're doing the wrong thing. You're getting more drug dealers around you, more drug addicts around you. So, of course, things that are going to come out bad for you. At some point, you're getting raided, you're going to jail. You know what I mean? So it's simple to me. And good people when you're a good person and just keep being true, and keep being honest, and keep living a clean life, clean things, good things are gonna come to you, man. I'm proof of that. Everyone around me right now are good people, and I'm happier than I ever been in my entire life right now. You know, at 45 years old, I'm happy, I'm complete. And all the fighters that I work with right now, I'm happy with them. And we have a great relationship. We have a great respect for one another. And we work hard every time we train. You know what I mean? There's no weirdness or no backstabbing or stuff like that. We're honest, we work hard, and we love what we do.
Hey, I see you working them sprints on them fighters, man. I saw that on your Instagram.
Yeah, hey, by the way, you're welcome to 11 a.m. at UNLV. We're doing Wednesdays are our sprint days. Anyone's invited, 11 o'clock, the UNLV track. After that, we're going to One Kicks Gym to do our power drills. Wednesdays is dedicated to explosiveness and power. The whole day, everything we do is explosive and powerful, you know. So it's a pretty exhilarating day where you're going to burn a lot of energy. And it takes, by the way, you were talking about spiritual realm. Yeah. Wednesdays are our spiritual days because the physical body just can't do it by itself. You have to really engage on something inside you to be able to get through our Wednesdays. I'm telling you, it's rage.
Bro, I got kickboxing at 9 a.m. at Couture's. I'm down. I can see you at 11.
Yeah, be at the UNLV track at 11. I will text you the map quest so you know exactly where the track is. If you've never been there, it's kind of tricky. So after we get off the phone, I'll definitely text it to you. And seriously, man, be there at 11. We're gonna work.
It'll be a privilege and an honor, man. It's just because with me, by trade, I'm just like, you know me, like I said, I'm real and I'm honest. I've gotten myself out of a depression that I was in a few months ago because I'm a truck driver. But this kickboxing championship I won was like years ago. Like it felt like forever ago. So I felt like I lost myself. As of recently, my friend Drew Davis, I don't know if you personally know him, but I believe he was one of Francis' sparring partners at the PI a few times, Drew Davis. Okay. Man, like I feel like God put him in my life, bro, because it's like, you know, when you meet that person that like motivates you to be who, because I wanted to be this person, like exercising and I'm losing weight now. I'm feeling great. Like I'm getting back to the old me, but I needed that push. I needed someone who's about that life already, who's already living the life that I would love to live, you know? So he's that person, man, and I believe that, you know, especially you, bro. I think you're one of those people too. I'm definitely down. I'm all ears. I'm just here to observe and learn, man. You know, and take it all in. So I'm definitely looking forward to that, for sure.
Yeah, and that's great. And by the way, I'm glad you brought up the depression thing, the anxiety thing. Right now, a lot of people are going through that type of thing. And my mentality about everything internal is a simple answer. We all have it inside of us, man. So a lot of people are going through that. And remember, all we got to do is close our eyes and feel inside of ourselves and say, no, I'm not going to allow this to happen. I'm not going to allow my physical brain to psychologically create negative emotions in my mind that therefore transforms my body into a sad, sullen state. You know what I mean? It's like when you go to a funeral, at the moment, no matter who you are, you're sad. It's not good. No matter what we believe, we can believe they're going to heaven, but it's still sad that our friends are departing from us. Mm-hmm. And you feel this kind of empty, sad feeling. And then when you leave and hours later, you hang out with your friends and you talk and you feel back alive again. That's how I look at depression and things like that. It's definitely real. But we have to just look inside ourselves and say, no, I'm not going to be defeated by this. I'm not going to let myself sabotage me psychologically. And it's hard to do. Therefore, good people, like we said earlier, good things come to them. You're a good person. So our guy Couture's came to you and helped you get out of that depression. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And but remember, all he did was basically show you what he does every day and invited you, much like I invited you to the track tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
You were still the one that got yourself out of that state mentally you were in.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everything we do in this world, whatever belief we have, whatever fear we have, whatever motivation we have, is all self-induced. We just don't understand ourselves. You know what I mean? Right. So we use things to motivate us or to make us see it more, but it's all in us, man. That's why, man, I've had so many bad things happen to me early in my life. I was never depressed because I knew, man, I could. When I was a kid, way back in the 80s, we used to say, and I was saying, I'm not even sure if people say it nowadays, but we would always say, a frown is nothing but an upside-down smile. You know what I mean? It was that simple to me. If I'm sad, I can just make myself happy by just feeling it inside, feeling happiness inside. And I'm glad I learned all those simple little lessons that basically carried me through my life, because I had so many bad things that happened to me, man. So many. And for some reason, I've always let it bounce off and like, I can either be sad, depressed, stressed, ready to commit suicide about this,
mm-hmm.
or I can be a championship mentality and know that I can be better. I got to learn these lessons, and I owe it to myself to improve myself, to search, seek, and find the happiness that I deserve. And I do that every day, man.
Amen to that, bro. Like, man, like, I really appreciate you coming on. I'm feeling super motivated, and I know everybody that's listening is going to be really blessed to have a little taste of the wisdom of Coach Dewey Cooper, man. I just thank you, man, for coming on and for taking the time. I know, like, took me a little while for us to finally line it up, but yeah, like, for real, I really appreciate you, man. I know this is going to be a good episode to whoever is finding themselves in a tight spot or in a, in a depressive state. Hopefully, it will give them that good energy, right? That motivation that they need to take that step of faith.
Yes, and just remember, tell everybody out there, they need a friend. There's people around they can see. Don't be too ashamed to talk. Don't be too ashamed to seek help. But just remember, that help is just the background music. You really have to want to get better within. Mm-hmm. The universe provides us with everything. We just have to find it within us, because we're part of this universe. We're part of God. We're part of the universe because we are His creation. We are this creation. Therefore, we have everything inside of us. I just wish people understood that we have the power for anything, and I really mean that. Yeah. Today, I'll tell you a story real fast before we get off. And my friend Emil Meek, he's a UFC fighter from Norway. This dude's like a real Viking.
Oh, I love that guy. He's great.
Yeah. I'm his striking coach. So he just got here from Norway a few days ago, right? Mm-hmm. I trained all my guys. Everyone clicks. Everyone had their sparring day. We're doing shark drills. By the way, I got Kewan Gracie here. He's a Bellator fighter. We all trained. So after we all finished, I had to zoom to the UFC PI and train Emil Meek. After we trained, I was a little burnt out from training people from 9 a.m. till now 6 p.m. today. Mm. So I said, hey, bro, is the PI closing? Can we go use the jacuzzi and all of that? The UFC PI has a really hot jacuzzi and a really ice-cold jacuzzi. So anyway, he said, oh, yeah, man, we could go use it. So we jump in the hot tub for about 15 minutes, and all these different UFC fighters are there. Todd Duffy's in the sauna dropping weight and doing what he's done. So many UFC fighters in there. We're all in the hot jacuzzi. A few of the guys kept jumping in the cold jacuzzi, but they get out after like 2 minutes. No one can handle it. So I told Emil Meek, and this is the true story. It just happened today, 6 p.m. I told Emil, I said, yeah, I'm going to get in there for 15 minutes after I get out of here for 15 minutes. He said, no way, coach. You're a badass, but no one can stay in this cold jacuzzi for that long. I said, Emil, I do it all the time, and it's nothing. So anyway, pretty short. Get out the hot jacuzzi and walk right in the cold jacuzzi. And I stayed there only 12 minutes. It was getting late and I had to leave. But I stayed there the entire 12 minutes. And then I jumped out, and Emil was like, Dewey, you're an amazing guy, but this is probably the most impressive thing I ever seen. I didn't know anyone could stay in there that long because no one stays in there that long.
Wow.
I said, Emil, I stay in there for 20 minutes normally, at least 15 every time I come here. I'm just running late, so I have to go. I said, but remember, Emil, there's nothing in this world we cannot do or accomplish. It's all in our mind, and it's all within us. I said, it was cold as hell to me, too, but what's cold? Cold is the mind state. Get in the cold water, say you're good, say you're warm, you're not cold, and you won't be. That's all I do. You know what I mean? So everything is within us. And Emil, the last thing he said to me was, man, you just made me a mentally stronger guy just from that, Coach. Thanks. And you could hit him up on Instagram and ask him that. He'll tell you that story. It's crazy.
Wow.
But it's the truth, man. No matter what, the universe provides us with everything, guys. It's within us. So if anyone's seeking help, find it. But just know, find yourself, because you have the answers to everything.
Amen, man. Awesome stories. Thank you, everybody. This is Coach Dewey Cooper. Follow him on all his Instagram and all his social media. Thank you, Coach, again, man, for real. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I really
thank you for having me. My Instagram is DC Black Cobra. DC Black Cobra. Cobra with a K. Cobra with a K, not spelled with a C. Thank you, guys. Hopefully I'll see you at the track, 11 a.m. UNLV tomorrow.
All right. I'll see you there, bro. Thank you.
All right. Goodbye.
Okay.
Thank you guys for always tuning in to The Fight of Faith. I really appreciate y'all. Thank you for liking, subscribing, following on all platforms. Please share this podcast with somebody that you know. Stay in your word, stay in your Bible, pray every day, walk with Jesus. And if you need help, please call this number, save my number, leave a voicemail or text anytime. I'm here for you. And please partner with us for as low as $1 a month to help us spread the gospel to the world and to the MMA community. And if you got something on your heart, and go ahead and share it on a podcast. Use my discount code and start your podcast and share it with the world. God bless.